typically I'll get an idea and I've got to have help come in and help me finish it, because have you ever sat on a song for like 5 years and you're magically expecting one day to wake up and this amazing other part's going to come to your song, right? But you're so entrenched in this one idea that you can't even think outside of that one idea. Well, this is where other people come into play. And I think it's really important, like Tim Hughes said this in his book. He said he will write an idea and then he'll give it to his guys in his band who are very modern in their musical taste. They're thinking from a different perspective. He'll give them like, a chorus like here in the worship. And then they send it back to him and he's like, that's what I'm talking about. Or that's not quite the direction I was going for, but I'm going to take an idea. So I'm going to give you an example of a song we wrote. Ian's going to get his keyboard set up. I wrote this song, that love came down, and I'm going to play the original idea I had, and I'll flub some of the lyrics because they don't really matter, just the idea, and then I want to show you what happened when I sent it to Ian, and when he sent it back to me, what it ended up sounding like, and then we'll back and forth, and then we brought in another guy. Then you can see the start A, and it's kind of funny compared to what we would think would be more of a final product. But I'm just going to show you this, okay? You ready? So I get this idea, love came down and rescued me, spontaneous in worship, and then I wanted to write a verse to it. Typically for me, that's where I go wrong. That's my weakness. So I'll tell you what I ended up doing. Some of you will be like, I like that, way better. But I wanted to lean more towards an aggressive song. So here's what I'm doing. My heart is overwhelmed, and I cannot hear your voice. I'll remember what you've done, though I cannot see. If the storms in life they come, and the road ahead gets steep, I will lift these hands in faith, I will believe. Right? So there's my verse. Now, most of you are like, that's awesome! Well, what ended up happening was it was a lullaby song, and I wanted it to be this really more aggressive song. So I wrote this cool little thing. But then the chorus was the exact same progression. And when I introduced the band into that, it just kind of felt, it didn't really work for live. It was kind of like I want to fall asleep, like an intimate song, and I wanted it to be like more of an anthem. My goal was more of an anthem. So I gave it to Ian, right? And then it goes, the bridge goes, I remind myself of all that you've done. Cause love came down and rescued me. Love came down and set me free. I am yours. I am forever yours. Right? So why don't let's go into what you added to it. Can we do that? The awesome thing about Ian is he didn't really know my original chord progression, and so he came up with another chord progression. Matt Revin says, write a melody that you think is strong, and then get the musicians involved and have them come up with different chord progressions that will work with that same melody. So it's the same exact melody, right? But now with different chord progression that he wrote over it. So basically I wrote a 1 chord, a C to an F, to an A minor, to a G, to an F. That was my verse progression. So he ends up doing this progression. Set up. They'll play the whole thing. And then when Ian sent this to me, my eyes lit up and I got a big smile on my face and I said, that's awesome. I'm going to use that. So here we go. And this is a stylistic thing too. See, like, obviously there's going to be 2 opinions about a song, like a style, but this is more of a style that I was thinking in my mind. But I couldn't do it by myself, so I'm asking him, and he created this more of a sound that I'm going for. Does that make sense? So this is a generalized style idea. It's not wrong or right. Okay? So go ahead. With this melody thing, over the first half of the verse, and then he added this whole thing. He sends it back to me, and I'm like, this is awesome. So then we have the verse figured out in the song. Now the thing that he did that is cool is I originally had it what do you call it when it's halftime, or is that what it's called? What did I originally have it in? I originally had it in halftime, which is slower, which is like, I had it like a, when we did it the first, play the original way, Chris. I originally had the drums, like when I did it slow, like, come on. So that we go into halftime on the original chorus idea I had, right? Because so looking down and rescue me, but it pushes more by doing full time with the kids on the verse. So anyways, that's how you can see it. You can have a simple idea that's strong. Like in a songwriting class, we've got, a lot of you have had good songs, but with a little bit of tweaking could become great or a lot better. So that's an idea of what the lengths that I would go through if I'm going to write a song. Okay? I also think musically, and you guys can add to this too, I think musically there needs to be hooks that people remember. So when you start the song, there's a hook, and everyone's like, I know what song that's going to be. So it's not just a jumbled mess, and you're attaching lines and stuff to your songs. And so musicians, that's why it's really important that you guys, if you're not, how many of you are not worship leaders and don't think you'll ever be a worship leader? You're just a musician in the band. It's 12 of you, okay. So we got a million worship leaders. It's your job as a musician, honestly, from my perception, is to be like very school, very modern, know what to do when something's handed to you to make it a lot better than really originally what it is. And you can see that as an example. I handed him this idea, and then he goes and makes it, what did he make it? A lot cooler, right? A lot more modern. So he did his job. So all these songwriters, you need that pool of musicians around you that you can do that too.